So Steven did another Q&A. This time he went on the Theory Forge Twitch channel. Now this team consists of Phantom X, Diggs, and legendary Neurotoxin. Now they had some questions prepared and even took some from the chat. If you want to check out the VOD or their Twitch channel, I got that in the description for you. We didn't get too much information, but the information we did get does pertain to Alpha 2, which is what we all want to hear. The main thing everyone wants to know about Ashes of Creation is when Alpha 2 is releasing. Steven didn't give a release date during this Q&A, but he was asked when we'll be able to see the Tonar. Now, when Diggs asked this, he was simply referring to the Tonar model, but Steven answered before that was clarified and said that we'll see Tonar next year. Now, in my last video where I said that we're closer to Alpha 2 than we think, I would say this is slight confirmation, because if Steven is saying that we're seeing this archetype next year, what does the rest of this year hold? He also said that they don't want to give a date for when spot testing is necessarily starting, because then that gives a false expectation for the players. You know how it goes. Someone says one thing and we all eventually run with that and can even start thinking we're actually much closer than we actually are. So if we have no idea when they're actually going to start testing, then for all we know, Alpha 2 could actually be later this year or early next year. This is all just speculation, but I'm just putting the pieces together that we have. Again, I'm not saying Alpha 2 is next week, but I wholeheartedly believe that we'll be playing Alpha 2 within the year. Regarding classes for Alpha 2, we now know that every single class besides the Summoner will be ready at the start of Alpha 2. Steven even said bards will be ready for Alpha 2, so we have that confirmation for those of you who are like me and are ready to play the best class ever, Bard. This makes sense, because a class like the Summoner is probably super complex, and that's something that you want to have corrected before you send it out to be tested and ripped apart. This leads me to another point. Steven has said that he's not aiming for perfection, and we all know that. But I think there's an underlining here. I think although they aren't aiming for perfection, they're aiming to ship this product in the best state possible because of what it entails. So many games launch terribly and are remembered as such. But if they do everything they can to make a solid product before we even get to test it, that'll put them in a much better position. And they'd even earn more respect from the players for trying. It's sad that in this day and age, the bar has been set so low so much that when we see companies actually trying, we're almost shocked by it. I respect and appreciate it very much because this is one of the reasons that I support this game. There was a question that was asked about endgame content as well, and I sort of figured this out with the way Ashes of Creation is already set up, but Steven gave the answer that it all depends on how your server is running at the time. Since each server is different, each server will have different objectives for their players during the endgame. Some players may want to focus on the crafting aspect, as others try to start focusing on controlling the land. It'll be different for everyone, but the endgame in itself is going to take a lot of us a while to even get there. I know some people can be critical of the Q&As, but it's a way for Steven to come together with the community and another way for us to come together as a community. Yeah, we didn't get much information, but I'm grateful for what we did get. Also, don't forget, no showcase. 2 weeks, baby. I better see you there. What did you think of the Q&A Steven did with Theory Forge? Please let me know in the comment section below. If you haven't created an Ashes of Creation account yet, feel free to use my link in the description below. If you are looking for a Discord to join, come kick it with us, man. We're growing. It's super fun, man. For real. Get on in there. If you want to keep up to date with me, feel free to follow me on Twitter and Twitch, where I stream the live monthly updates. All right? I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.